Laney's freaking face. I mean, you look at her and it was just that you wanted to hug her. You wanted to kiss her right on her wrinkly little forehead. My love for boxers most definitely started when I first met puppy Dwight. I had never met a boxer before then, and it was love at first sight. Ever since then, it's been all boxers all the time. Dwight. Dwight was freaking fantastic. So Dwight was one of those dogs that just, you love everything about him. Everyone that knew him felt the same way. And he was such a goof. Like you couldn't take him seriously, but you also trusted him with your life. Just the personality of a clown, absolutely a clown with a bulldozer, attached to him. And then that's how I got Oscar too, which was just someone knew that I had a boxer, came across Oscar, who was another rescue. The two of them side-by-side brothers from day one.
So somewhere around Dwight's 5th year of his life, he was diagnosed with this spine condition where his spine was all fused together. For most dogs, this would mean that's the end, and they become crippled and don't have the quality of life.
So he's been on borrowed time for a long time. But he never let that stop him and turn him into a battering ram. I mean, that dog was insane, but he was wonderful.
Somewhere in around July 2017, he started getting seizures, and his quality of life just took a nosedive, and it seemed like he was in a lot of pain, and he couldn't go up the stairs anymore or down them without our help. And so it was incredibly painful to watch that.
And fortunately and unfortunately, he went downhill fast, which was hard for us. It was hard for him, but it was better than dragging it out.
Sarah and I made the decision that he's not the dog he once was, and he's suffering. And so we decided to put him to sleep. And that was the worst day of my life. And I've put 2 other dogs down, and it's not fun. It doesn't get any easier. But Dwight, he was just, there's something so special about him. And so, we all took it hard when we had to put him to sleep.
So after we said goodbye, we knew it was important to share Dwight's story. We put the story on Facebook, and then we connected it with a fundraiser for a Northern Plains boxer rescue. That money can definitely go to make another boxer's life better.
We always knew that we wanted to get another dog, but we just didn't know what the timing would be like. But we always said we were going to let Oscar, the surviving dog, dictate when it's time to get another dog. In the weeks that passed since we said goodbye to Dwight, his behavior changed too. He put on a very strong front for us when we were home, but when we would monitor him through our doggy cams, we saw him grieving. He was howling, he was sad. Even when we were trying to leave, he would try to run out with us, and he just didn't want to be alone. So we started looking at the Northern Plains Boxer Rescue website and just looking at the dogs out there, and we said, well, at least let's get the application process going. Who knows how long the process takes? It could take 6 months, it could take a year.
So during the application process, there's a couple of things that Northern Plains Boxer Rescue had to do for approval. The first thing they did was called our vet before they even called us to talk to us, to kind of get a feel for how we take care of our dogs. And the lady called me the next day laughing, telling me our vet said, quote, give her whatever she wants. So that was kind of a good feeling to know that our vet clearly knows that we love our dogs and they want us to take in more and rescue more and make everyone happy. The lady who runs Northern Plains Boxer Rescue called it a slam dunk application. So she pretty much quickly connected me with Laney's foster mom. So Laney is 4 years old. She'll be turning 5 in the spring. She was rescued from a puppy mill. Basically, they spend their lives in a cage. She was never potty trained, so she spent 4 years, not really going out, not learning how to walk. She had never encountered stairs before she came here. She was clearly kind of terrified of them. Also, what we've been told is that after about 6 or 7 litters, the moms either get sent away or sometimes put down. So someone luckily came by and rescued Laney because she'd reached her limit of puppies. And then that's how she ended up at Northern Plains Boxer Rescue. And she spent about 4 months in foster care, which is really what brought her around to learning the in-house lifestyle.
And then it was just a matter of making sure that Oscar was cool with the dog we chose, Laney.
Do you want to go get Laney? Huh? Should we go pick up your sister?
We drove down from Minneapolis to Lincoln, Nebraska to meet Laney, and we were hopeful that we could bring her home, but if Oscar wasn't going for it, then that'd be it. That's it. That's the end of that one, and we'll find another dog. Because that's the main key. He has to be cool with it. When we first met Laney, Oscar, we kept him in the car, and she was kind of hiding around the corner and, was kind of scared of us. But then we brought in Oscar, and her tail started wagging, and she was kind of bouncing around and real happy to see him. And
they instantly bonded. I mean, she was right on him, following him around, sniffing him, and that kind of allowed her to get a little closer to us.
And we knew this was going to work out. So the next morning we picked her up and we drove back to Minneapolis, and we had a nice 6.5-hour car ride with the 4 of us.
So we've had Laney for a month, and her crazy pants are on full time. She is such a sweetheart. We love her. When we first brought her home, I think having that long car ride just kind of forced her acceptance of us. She couldn't hide in a different room. Her and Oscar bonded. She got used to us. By the time we got home, she was following us around the house. The first couple days, she would follow you around. She'd stay right at your heel, but she never really wagged her tail, never bounced around. By, I'd say, midweek, so a couple days in, she definitely was comfortable enough to start being a little bit of a Looney Tune, and she's adorable when she gets crazy, and she'll run around the house back and forth. She'll try to get Oscar to play with her, and Oscar desperately doesn't want to play with her. He loves her and likes to cuddle with her, but he just doesn't understand how to play, and so she'll bark in his face, and he'll eventually run down the hallway scared, even though he's twice her size. She's definitely enjoying her life and is picking up pretty quick, I'd say, as to the routines that our lifestyle requires.
If somebody's looking for a dog, I would strongly suggest they get a boxer because they're awesome. I would say definitely adopt one. If you can, go through Northern Plains Boxer Rescue because they're fantastic. They made sure Laney was taken care of and that she was in a good home and that all her vaccinations were up to date, and they were not going to release her until she had a clean bill of health.
There are so many dogs in this world. It's depressing how many of them don't have good homes, whether they're in a kennel somewhere or in a foster home or waiting to be rescued from a bad situation. I think it says a lot about us as to where we go to get our dogs and how we treat our dogs, and having them be part of the family. And boxers are absolutely part of the family. And knowing that they came from somewhere rough and you're giving them something great, it makes you feel pretty good.
I give you a hug.
Oscar, we love you too.